If you have $500 in your bank account, I'm going to show you 10 different business ideas that you can start today that have the potential to make you tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. And no, I'm not talking about YouTube automation or dropshipping or whatever else the gurus are selling nowadays. So let's jump right in. But I got to give you a little disclaimer that starting a business is hard. It's not going to work unless you do. And if you really want to build a real scalable business that can grow beyond six figures, you're going to have to be a little bit more innovative and come up with some more creative ideas. And if you want some additional resources that can help you out with that, 3 of my favorite books on the topic of building and growing a real business are: number 1, The Blue Ocean Strategy by Renee Malborn and W. Chan Kim; number 2, Winning by Jack Welch; and number 3, Built to Sell by John Warrilow. Now let's jump into business idea number 1, which is become an AI consultant. The way this works is you would audit a business and you would find ways for them to incorporate artificial intelligence. That way they can save at least 5 hours of time a week. And I know this works because I have paid thousands of dollars for this exact thing. Now, I'm kind of tech savvy, not super tech savvy, but I understand the basics. But wow, I didn't realize how much I didn't understand about AI until I paid somebody to help teach me. Now, the way to go about this isn't just to go out and with a shotgun approach, ask any business, can I help you with your AI strategy? Because you want to be able to specialize and really understand how you can solve a business's needs. So you want to find a business that's making money. Maybe that's a doctor's office, a dentist's office, a veterinary office, a dental clinic, or some other sort of business executive, and show them how you can save them 5 hours a week. And I'll show you a few tools that you can learn. By the way, I'm not sponsored by or endorsing any of these companies, just a few resources to help get you started. Number 1, HypeWriter.ai can help you respond to emails. Number 2 is Otter.ai, which can help you take notes while you're in meetings. Number 3 is Designs.ai that can create logos and graphics and images for you. Number 4 is how to do research with ChatGPT. And number 5 is how to dub videos in different languages with Speechify. There's literally an infinite number of ways that you can use artificial intelligence. But if you can master a few of the ways and find businesses that can benefit from that, you can charge businesses a few $100s to a few $1,000s to buy back some of their time. Everybody and their mom has been hearing about the artificial intelligence boom, but most people have no idea how to actually use AI in their business. So if you can help solve that problem for businesses, you can make some money. And if you still don't understand what's the potential with this, well, there's an educational company out there called Mind Valley, and they have an artificial intelligence boot camp, and they charge $10,000 to $15,000 for you to join the AI boot camp. So yes, I think you can pretty comfortably charge at least a few $100s to a couple $1,000s to businesses to teach them how to use AI to buy some of their time back. Number 2 is start a cleaning service for landlords. The economy is pushing more people to rent than own, which creates opportunity for you, because if more and more people are renting, that means that management companies are going to need assistance to help turn over properties, because anytime somebody lives in a property as a tenant, they're going to eventually move out. And when you have more renters, that means you have more turnover. Maybe somebody's moving out after 12 months, 18 months, 24 months, but there's more turnover if more people are renters. Now, as a landlord or a property management company, when a property goes vacant, you have to clean it up, do some basic repairs on the property, and make sure it looks nice for the next tenant. And this is where no management company, or landlord for that matter, is going to want to overpay to do a basic cleaning service. And so if you can specialize in cleaning for landlords or property management companies are the companies that manage rental properties for landlords. Well, now you could come in and specialize in doing that type of cleaning and turnover, where if you can come in and know how to clean up a property pretty quickly and efficiently and do some of the basic repairs like fill holes on walls and know how to get some stuff out of the carpet and flooring, well, now you can create a contract, work with the management companies or work directly with landlords and say, hey, I have this new cleaning business. We specialize in rental property turnover. And if you can do a quick job and be an affordable price, well, now you have a lot of potential business opportunities, because I can tell you as a landlord that property management companies and landlords are struggling to find people to do this work quickly. Number 3 is be a doctor driver. I've spent a lot of time in Ubers and Lyfts, and I always like to talk to the driver about how business is and how things are going. And one of the trends that you've been hearing with a lot of Uber drivers and Lyft drivers is that, well, they're just making less money. Either people are buying less rides or the Uber and Lyft company are taking a higher percentage. And so a lot of drivers are just not making enough money or as much money as they were. But there are people that need rides. And some people don't know that they need rides. And what I mean by that is if you look at high-paid professionals, people like doctors and attorneys, people who are making a lot of money per hour, if they have to drive 30 minutes to work and back, that's an hour of time. And if these people charge $250 an hour for the time, sometimes more, You could now be that driver for a fraction of the price. Maybe you charge half the price. That you charge $62 or $65 each way to drive a doctor or an attorney in a nice car to their work on time, and you pick them up and bring them back. Well, now you save them time and you can also make some money. But here's the thing, you have to understand marketing here, because if you can show doctors and attorneys, because many doctors and attorneys are not financial people, they're not business people, they don't understand the value of their time. Well, if you can show them that, hey, if you're sitting in the back seat in a comfortable car, well, now you have more time to answer emails, you have more time to take phone calls, you have more time to relax and just think. Instead of you having to drive and have to stress in traffic, I can take care of that job for you for less than what your hourly rate is. That way the doctor or the attorney or the accountant can buy back some of their time, and now you make some money. Number 4 is create content with a purpose. My prediction over the next decade is that we're going to see more and more businesses come digital. And we've already seen this happen, but what I mean by digital is a social presence that involves a person, almost like an influencer for the business. And what you can take from that is you can almost like be the influencer for your own business, because back over the last decade, the content creation business, so if we're talking about podcasters or YouTubers or Instagrammers, the way that these creators made money is you would make money through advertisements or from affiliate deals or sponsorship deals. But there's a much bigger opportunity, and the opportunity is to create content with the purpose of building your own brand. So let's say you build this cleaning company where you clean properties for management companies and landlords. Well, now what you can do is just buy a camera or use it off your own phone and record how you clean and narrate how you clean properties and make it a fun and engaging video. Well, now what you do is, number 1, if you can grow, you can make a little bit of ad revenue, which really isn't the purpose here, but the real purpose now is you can drive leads back into your business, because who's gonna wanna watch a video about how to clean a rental property? Well, maybe a management company or a contractor or another landlord who, if they know who you are and they start to kind of like what you do, they'll say, you know, this seems like a good person, we should wanna work with them. And if they see that you're in the area, well, now they might wanna give you a contract. And this is where now you can create content with a purpose, and I think you're going to see a lot more businesses get into this, especially the larger businesses. Now, of course, it's difficult to start, but there's a lot of ways to do this, even if you don't have a physical brand. For example, one of the things that I do, you probably heard me talk about this a lot, is promote things like Market Briefs, my free financial newsletter. Now, why do I do that? Because Briefs Media is my company. Briefs Media is in the business of creating content for financial news, financial trends, and financial education. And one of the things that we offer is, of course, Market Briefs, our free financial newsletter that breaks down what's happening in things like the economy, housing, stocks, crypto, and the global economy. Now, there's a couple of ways that can go out and get customers. There's a couple of ways that can go out and get readers for our brand. I could go out and run Facebook ads, which we are now starting to do. Or I can also promote it to my own audience. And promoting it to my own audience gives me the opportunity to get readers, kind of testers essentially, for free, because now I don't have to pay money to go out and find a reader. In fact, I'm getting paid to do that because I get advertising revenue when I make this video, but I also get leads for our brand. And so now it's kind of flipping the script of how you can get customers, because before, the way that people will get customers is I got to spend money in some sort of marketing channel to find a customer. But if you can start creating content, well, now you can have the customers coming to you, which can lower your cost to get a customer, but also increase your brand trust. But this requires you to put in the work, because the reality is creating content is not easy. It takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of time to get any traction. But if you stick with it, you can start to grow and see some views and some listeners and some subscribers to your brand. And guess what? You don't need hundreds of thousands of people or even tens of thousands of subscribers to really make a big dent in how much money you can make from your organic content. Because if you're selling high-end services, or if you're selling services that cost a decent dollar amount, you only need a few people to come in to really make creating the content worthwhile. And every view is a person. And if you're creating tailored content that can really help your potential buyers, well, it's a lot easier to get them to want to buy your stuff if you're showing your value and they're choosing voluntarily to find it, instead of you trying to run advertisements to find those people. And of course, if you want to join Market Briefs, I got the link for you down in the description below. Now, I don't want to hammer this point too hard, but I do want you to understand this for those of you that are interested in building a digital brand, because for me to build something like Briefs Media would normally cost a lot of money, which it did, because you got to pay for staff, you got to pay for softwares, I had to pay for rent, you got a lot of expenses to pay before you have any money coming in, because until you have a decent number of subscribers reading something like a newsletter, you can't really make that much money. So it was a cost. Now, normally, the way that businesses would fund that initial seed capital is either you dig money into your own bank account if you have a big savings account, or B, you can go into debt to get the money from a bank, or you can go out and raise money from investors to build that business idea. But what I was able to do, very fortunately, was because we had Minority Mindset here, I was able to funnel the revenue I was making from Minority Mindset into building the Briefs Media brand. So it's all about why are you creating content, creating it with a purpose. And sure, if you don't want to build a business, you can use the money you're making from your content to go out and invest in real estate or invest in stocks, or you can use it to fund and grow your own business idea. Number 5 is an optimized video editor for short form content. Now notice what I said here. I made this a little complex, and the reason why is because everybody knows how to edit videos nowadays. So if you pitch to a creator, whether it's Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, that, hey, let me edit your videos for you, nobody really cares because every creator's inbox is full with people saying, let me edit one video for you for free, let me show you how good I am. So you have to start differentiating yourself. Now, the next thing that people started doing was saying, hey, I can create you a short form video. I'll create you a video for TikTok or Instagram or YouTube Shorts, and let me show you how good I am, which then everybody started doing. And this is where now I want you to take it one step further, which is analyzing the KPIs, the key performance indicator, and having a real metric to show the success. Because before, what people were doing was creating videos that looked attractive. Maybe they were focused on how can you get more likes or views, but this is where now, if you can be a little bit more strategic, you can now find the new buyers and stand out from all the crowd of video editors, because there's a lot of video editors out there. And what I mean by this is, if you can work with the creator and say, let me create your short form videos with the goal of X, getting you more leads, getting you more sales, getting you more email signups, getting more clicks to your website. If you understand what their goal is and you can specialize in getting people to do that through the short form videos, well, now you've just opened up a whole new world of opportunity that not that many people are doing. And what I mean by that is, if a content creator is creating content, they generally have a goal with creating that content. And most video editors are in the business of editing videos. And so now, if you can better understand the goal, which is, let's just say, getting clicks, getting subscribers, getting sales, or getting likes, and you know how to get more of that thing, well, now you can pitch this as, let me help you with your goal, which is A, B, C, or D. You tell me what your goal is, and I'll show you what we're gonna do differently to get you to that goal. But not just that, you're gonna help track it. That's the key. You have to be able to track how many leads they're getting, how many subscribers they're getting, and then work to optimize that and let them know, hey, look, we're gonna optimize how many email subscribers we're gonna get you. Here's what we're gonna do, optimize the email subscribers, and here's how we're gonna track it. That way you can show week over week. Hey, week 1, we got you 44 email subscribers. Week 2, hey, we got you 78 email subscribers. Here's what we're gonna do, get 100. Hey, we got 100 email subscribers. Now here's what we're gonna do to get you to 1,000 email subscribers. This way now you're working with them on their goals, and you're creating content, not just to create content, because that's what every video editor is doing. They're editing videos just to edit videos. But if you wanna stand out and start getting the real business, you wanna start editing videos with the goal of helping them reach their end goal, which is some sort of KPI, key performance indicator. Maybe it's email subscribers, maybe it's sales, maybe it's views, maybe it's likes. You figure out what that goal is, and then you help solve that goal. Number 6 is video recording for realtors. Now, I started off in the real estate space. I do have a real estate salesperson's license, although I don't work as a realtor, but I know a lot of realtors. I also know a lot of top realtors, and what I can tell you is you're seeing more and more realtors, especially in the luxury home space, that are starting to invest money in video production. Now, in the beginning, it was, I'm gonna take a drone picture of your home, which was cool. And now you're starting to see people get a little bit more involved. Some realtors, not all of them, but some of them, they're starting to get a little bit more involved where they're doing home tours, video home tours, or they're creating these video showings of the property. And if you can start recording these things or create a virtual tour of a property, which of course takes a little bit of work and time and analysis to understand how to do this, well, now you have opened up the floodgates, because many realtors are trying to do this, but they have absolutely no idea how. And if they're selling homes worth over $500,000, it is gonna be worth their time to pay you $500, $1,000 to create this eye-catching virtual tour, or to videograph them walking you through the property, or even both. But this is where now understanding who is your target market, if you can target the realtors, the people that are selling homes for over $500,000, and if you can create a really eye-catching piece that's gonna help them sell that home. Remember, you gotta understand the goal. They wanna sell the home because that's how they get the commission. and you want to help them get the commission because that's going to get you that repeat business. Number 7 is become a digital personal trainer. Now, I like to work out. I enjoy it, something I like to do. And I got to know a couple of the trainers in my gym, and one of the guys that I knew just stopped coming for a little while. So I texted him to see how he was doing. And he told me he was starting this new personal training business. So I thought nothing of it, and I said, congratulations. And then he texted me about a year later, says, hey, do you want to get coffee? I'd love to just talk to you about what I'm doing. So sure, didn't really think about it. And he told me that he started this digital personal training business, and he's making more money now than he was ever doing before. He was doing many multiples of what he was making before, because now instead of training people one-on-one in the gym like what he was doing, he built this digital personal training business, but he only trains people that are making over $100,000 a year. I said, well, what difference does it make if someone's making 200 grand versus 40 grand? Who said, it really doesn't make much difference in terms of the training, except how much money I can charge. And not just that, for the people that are these high income executives, the doctors, attorneys, and executives, they don't always have the time to drive to the gym. And they want a place to learn how to work out in the comfort of their home. Because if they can do a home workout, it saves them some time, the 20 minutes to the gym and back, and then they can do this on their own schedule. So I started doing these digital training workouts for doctors and attorneys and accountants and other executives. I charge them more money, and they do the work on their own time, but I don't have to go and see them. They don't have to come to me. I don't have a home gym anymore. They just do it all virtually from their home. So I built these specialized home workouts for the executives. That way they can work out on their own schedule, which goes to show that there's a market for pretty much anything. And if you know how to work out, if you can build a home workout for people who have money to spend, who don't have a lot of time, well, you can solve that problem for them in exchange for a fee. Business idea number 8 is wedding coordination. Now, I got to premise this with you have to be organized. You have to be detail oriented, and you have to care about the end product here. Because if you are kind of just doing this to make money, you are going to get chewed out and sued very quickly. Now, I know this because I worked in the wedding industry for many, many, many years. Now, I worked in the Indian wedding industry. I played a drum. It's a Punjabi drum called the Tol. Punjab is the region in India where my family is from. And I also worked with a lot of the DJs. So I got to know a lot of the wedding coordinators. And, starting a DJ business is specialized. Starting a drumming business is specialized. Starting a videography business is specialized. But if you want to be a wedding coordinator, you don't need to have this musical skill. What you need to be now is detail oriented. You have to be able to push people to the right place at the right time. You have to be able to talk to people and make sure things get done. And you got to be a little bossy. Okay, you got to make sure things get done the way they got to get done, and you got to be very, very, very detail-oriented, because you're going to be working with a lot of bridezillas, and if you can't handle that, please don't even consider this business idea. But you have the potential to make a lot of money, because weddings are expensive, and people get married. I mean, people are always going to get married, whether in a recession or in a booming economy. So if this is something that you love coordinating, you love design, you have the eye for aesthetics, and you're very detail-oriented, you're very organized, and you don't have a problem bossing people around, this is something that you may want to consider. But again, specialize. Now, weddings are a little bit different, that you don't want to specialize in doctor weddings. Here, it's a little bit more by ethnicity, like Indian people weddings, Mexican people weddings. Figure out what can you do. And, this is really just going to depend on who you are and where you're from, right? If you're American and you've never been to an Indian wedding before, you probably shouldn't be doing Indian weddings. So figure out what you know how to do here and understand there's a lot of opportunity. Number 9 is be a growth marketer. And what that means is you have a few options. I'm going to give you 5 different options here. I don't want you to do all these, but do one of these. Number 1 is you can understand YouTube advertising. Number 2 is you can understand Google advertising. Number 3 is understand Facebook ads. Number 4 is understand Instagram ads. Or number 5 is understand search engine optimization, or SEO. Now, the whole thing here is I want you to spend a few months learning and mastering one of these 5 things. And yes, you want to pick one, because if you try to do everything, you're going to get nowhere. If you can master one of these skills, you can then sell this skill as a service to other businesses, because every single business out there wants more customers. Now, how do you get more customers? Well, there's a lot of different ways that you can do that, but 5 of the big ways on the internet are through YouTube ads, Google ads, Instagram ads, Facebook ads, and search engine optimization, meaning how do you rank on Google. And if you can show a business how they can drive more leads, how they can drive more sales, how they can make more money, because you can lower their customer cost of acquisition, well, now you have the ability to make a lot of money. Because if you can make a business $100, you bet they'll be willing to pay you $20 or $40, maybe even $50 or more, depending on what the product is. But this is where you have to be good at what you do and understand what the business's goals are. And yeah, you got to be a little bit of a nerd here and really understand the data and the analytics and see how you can stay on top of what's happening in this niche. Because guess what? Google ads are changing all the time. YouTube ads are changing all the time. Facebook and Instagram ads are changing all the time. Search engine optimization is changing all the time, especially now with AI. And if you can be the person that knows everything about what's happening here, you can build a very large, very profitable, and very successful business if you can show businesses how they can drive more revenue through your services. And really what that means here, I mean, it applies for everything, but especially here, is you got to work to be the best. Because if you're just going to provide average results, you are going to be fired very fast, because average results mean no profits. And if you're not driving profits, a business is going to fire you, because that's why they're paying you for the growth. But if you can drive more profits, you will have a customer for life. And number 10 is new age PR. Now, most people, when they think of PR, they think about how can you get a business on the news? How can you get them in the newspaper? How can you get them on the radio? But this is where there's a lot of opportunity through new age PR, which could be through podcasting. How can you get some person onto different podcasts? Now, of course, you got to be a little bit of a nerd here, but there's a lot of potential. As somebody who's been on the news, as somebody who's been on many podcasts, what I can tell you is podcasting is a great way, a new way to get a lot of PR, to get a lot of exposure, because you get more time, right? When I'm on the news, if I go on the radio, I'm only shown for a very short period of time, seconds, if sometimes a minute or two.
What is this minority mindset?
We need to get money smart and start thinking about our financial health, and there are a few things you can do. I call these the 3 keys of money.
Okay.
And key number 1 is spend less. Key number 2, earn more. Key number 3, invest like crazy.
So when I'm on the news, I get a very short period of time, the short segment, which will be viewed by a lot of random people, right? If I'm talking about how to pay off your debt on the news, well, there might be thousands or tens of thousands of people watching it, and most of them might not have any debt, or some of them might not have any debt. Versus if I go on a podcast on how to pay off your debt to an audience of people that are working to pay down their debt, well, now there might be 10,000 people that listen to it, all of whom have debt.
And I think a lot of people have that mindset where they're like, I only have $500. I only have $1,000. Like, what can I do with that? I might as well spend it on whatever it is, because, or I'm going to save it because I need it for a rainy day. What does someone do when they have that mindset, when they're like, I don't have enough? How do you approach that?
So when I was in high school, I really wanted a Ford Mustang, but my dad was like, no, we can't buy a Ford Mustang. I wasn't going to get that car. But this is, again, when stock prices had crashed. And the next best thing, if I couldn't buy a Ford Mustang, and I started reading the business books then, was how about I buy some of the Ford stock? Again, I didn't have a lot of money. My first investment in the Ford stock was $2.
And so this is where, if you can understand how the podcasting space works, start to network with podcasters and build a community of people that are looking for guests, because everybody who has a podcast wants a good guest. Well, now you can build a service where you charge clients a fee to get them on the podcast. Maybe you charge them $1,000 a month, $5,000 a month. I know some PR people here that will charge $10,000 a month to get people on the podcast. How do I know? Because I paid for them before. Now, the people that I paid the $10,000 a month didn't give me the results that I wanted. We started to get more results when I did it myself. But if you can build a good service doing this, well, you can make a lot of money if you can help people get that exposure. That way they can get more views, get more eyeballs, which will ultimately drive more leads and sales. And with that, I want to hear from you. Which of these 10 ideas did you like the most? Let me know down in the comments. And if you got some value out of this video, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to this channel, and share this video with somebody who you think will enjoy it. Do you go to the bank? And what most people do is when they go to the bank is they're going to borrow money to buy cars, to buy clothes, to buy vacations, to buy things on their credit card, to buy things that are liabilities. But what some people do is they're going to borrow money from the bank. Instead of going out and financing these liabilities, which are losing their money, they're going to borrow money from the bank to go out and buy a cash flow producing asset.